Stephen Curry, the greatest point guard of this era, the most insane masked killer in NBA history. A man who single-handedly changed the very fabric of the game. But before the world bowed to him, he was an absolute nobody. He didn't have the God-given power of Shaquille O'Neal. He wasn't the chosen one like LeBron James. He lacked the predatory, kingly aura of Michael Jordan. All he had was a frail-looking body and a baby face that looked entirely harmless. The world didn't just doubt him. They mocked him. When he played in the NCAA, they said, "Curry belongs in a church choir, not on a court." And when he entered the league, they said, "Curry can't handle the NBA's physicality." They called him a glass man. From childhood to the present day, Curry's life has been a relentless war against prejudice. Before he changed the world, his story was the ultimate blueprint of a small man's struggle for survival. 1 year before the 2009 NBA draft, Stephen Curry had just shocked the world during March Madness. He introduced a style of play that was completely alien to the traditional basketball establishment, leading his team through one of the most legendary Cinderella stories in NCAA history. This madness caught the attention of Don Nelson, the head coach of the Golden State Warriors. Nelson was a mad scientist, the forefather of the small ball era, and the man who orchestrated the We Believe Warriors' historic upset of the #1 seed. He was instantly obsessed. He saw something others didn't. A combination of shooting, ball handling, and passing that defied logic. Nelson was convinced that Curry was the perfect engine for his high-octane offensive philosophy. When Curry fell to the #7 pick, the Warriors didn't blink. They grabbed the baby-faced kid everyone looked down on. At the time, even Nelson didn't realize that this single decision would purify his Run TMC style of play and give birth to a new era. Years later, Nelson would still express shock that he got Curry at 7. He called it a 1 in a million chance, believing no one in that draft could truly compare to Stephen. However, the Golden State Curry arrived in was far from welcoming. The team's alpha, Monta Ellis, was a man of immense ego. He famously once ranked himself at the top of the league. "Kobe is first, I'm second, LeBron third." He was a scoring machine who felt he could match anyone. Before the draft, Ellis publicly warned the front office not to use a high pick on another guard. When Curry arrived, Ellis told the media point blank, "Me and Curry in the backcourt, we're going to lose. It won't work." Imagine being a rookie, entering a locker room where the team leader has already counted you out. But Curry didn't pout. He didn't demand a trade. He chose to dissolve the tension with kindness. On Monta Ellis's birthday, before the season even started, Curry took the lead. Using his raspy, duck-like singing voice, he sang "Happy Birthday" to the veteran. He understood early on that a team's atmosphere is the foundation of success. He was willing to be the one who sacrificed, the one who made concessions for the sake of the group. Curry's NBA debut finally came at home against the Houston Rockets. In the locker room before the game, a young, nervous-looking Curry told the cameras, "I want to be a consistent all-star, and I want to win championships." From that sentence, the legend began. On the very first play, Curry recorded a beautiful assist. Later, the Rockets tried to exploit him. They switched the physical Trevor Ariza onto Curry, thinking they could bully the skinny kid. But Curry surprised everyone. He ripped the ball straight out of Ariza's hands. He was telling the league, "I might be thin, but don't you dare underestimate my toughness." He finished with 14 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. It wasn't a perfect game, but the phenom had arrived. By January 2010, Curry had fully mastered Nelson's run-and-gun system. By February, he was the center of the NBA universe. On February 10th, against the Clippers, he recorded a massive 36-point, 10-rebound, 13-assist triple-double. He became the first rookie in 2 decades to drop a 30-plus point triple-double. Between February and March, he went on a scoring tear that mirrored his March Madness heroics. By the end of his rookie season, Curry was averaging 17.5 points and shooting 43.7% from 3. He hit 166 triples, a number his peers couldn't even touch. People began whispering that he should replace Monta Ellis as the face of the franchise. Although he lost the Rookie of the Year award to Tyreke Evans, the Warriors' management knew they had a diamond in the rough. But just as the future looked bright, the darkness arrived. On December 10, 2010, against the Spurs, Curry suffered a non-contact ankle sprain. It was the beginning of a nightmare. He missed 6 games. Then he returned, and it happened again. During the lockout-shortened 2011 season, his ankles became a national joke. He would play, sprain it, rehab, return, and sprain it again. Bob Myers, the Warriors' GM, described the injury cycle as insane. Curry himself was lost. He didn't understand why God was testing him like this. During these 2 years, the fatal flaw of the Curry-Ellis duo became obvious. They were an offensive powerhouse, but a defensive disaster. The new owner, Joe Lacob, reached a breaking point. He was ready to trade either one of them to fix the team. March 14, 2012, was the day the Warriors pulled the trigger. Before the trade was finalized, they actually offered Curry to the Milwaukee Bucks. But the Bucks looked at Curry's medical records and said, "No thanks, he's too injury-prone." They demanded Monta Ellis instead. Milwaukee's refusal to take Curry is perhaps the greatest blessing in disguise in the history of the sport. During this era, 2 critical things happened. First, they brought in the legendary Jerry West as an advisor. West, the man who built the Showtime and Shaq Kobe Lakers, was a master architect. Second, they drafted Klay Thompson with the 11th pick. Thompson, the son of a former #1 pick, had explosive scoring potential. In the future, he would become Game 6 Klay, the Buddha who saved the Warriors time and time again. But first, Curry had to save his career. He went to a specialist in L.A., Dr. Richard Ferkel. The surgery was terrifying. The doctor told Curry they might have to harvest a tendon from a cadaver, a dead body, to replace his own. His agent said no athlete had ever undergone such a radical procedure. Luckily, they found no structural damage, and the surgery was a success. His recovery time was cut in half. While Curry was healing, the Warriors' front office made a massive gamble. They signed him to a 4-year, $44 million extension. At the time, critics called it a risky deal for a glass man. In reality, it became the most valuable contract in NBA history, allowing the team to later sign Kevin Durant and build an unstoppable dynasty. The 2012-13 season saw a new Warriors team. Mark Jackson had replaced Don Nelson, and he brought a grit-and-grind defensive mentality. Klay was starting, and a young, fiery Draymond Green was emerging from the bench. On February 28, 2013, Curry walked into the Mecca of basketball, Madison Square Garden. He was looking to prove he was back. He proceeded to drop 54 points, hitting 11 three-pointers with nearly 85% accuracy. It was a masterpiece. He followed that up in the playoffs by pushing the legendary Spurs to the brink, dropping 44 points and earning the respect of Greg Popovich, who compared him to Jordan. The following year, Curry was an all-star starter. He engaged in a 7-game war against Chris Paul and the Lob City Clippers. Even though they lost, the world saw the potential. But management wasn't satisfied. They fired Mark Jackson and hired Steve Kerr. Kerr did something revolutionary. He liberated Curry. He flew across the world to meet players, convinced stars like Iguodala to come off the bench, and told Curry, "Don't play like a traditional guard. If you have an inch of space, shoot it. I don't care how far away you are." Kerr opened Pandora's box. The 2014-15 season was a whirlwind. Curry was doing the impossible. He was hitting contested threes in Kobe's face, causing Kobe to smile and tap him on the rear in a passing of the torch moment. The Warriors became the first team to lead the league in both offense and defense. Curry won the MVP, beating out James Harden. In the finals, he met the chosen one, LeBron James. Before the series, Charles Barkley famously said, "A jump shooting team will never win a championship." The world doubted them again. After 3 games, the Warriors were down 1-2. LeBron was playing like a god, and Curry was struggling under the pressure of Matthew Dellavedova's death-grip defense. Then came the adjustment. Kerr started the small ball lineup with Iguodala. They used speed and passing to dismantle the Cavs. Curry finally found his rhythm in Game 5, dropping 37 points and hitting the daggers that killed Cleveland's hope. The Warriors won the title, ending a 40-year drought. But a mystery remained. The finals MVP went to Iguodala. Curry didn't get a single vote. While the media screamed robbery, Curry remained humble. He said, "Andre deserved it. Who cares? We're champions." That humility is what built the Golden State culture. The skinny kid who was told he'd never make it had conquered the world. He had overcome the college snubs, the locker room beef, and the career-threatening injuries. But the world didn't know that this was just the beginning. The era of the big man was over. The era of the chef had officially begun.